the harder the better, really. If you haven't got a... They're pulling faces at me. If you haven't got a golf ball or a tennis ball or a trigger point ball, which is what this is, go and find maybe a cork off. So I'll just give you a few minutes to go and find. This is to massage our feet, so any kind of ball, champagne cork or rolling pin. I've got a husband that likes to tidy everything up. So a cushion, a ball or a rolling pin. You're going to start with your ball and we're just going to massage our feet. So we're going to massage as thoroughly, as deeply as possible. In fact, if you can bear it, if you stand up and you can put more weight into your foot. A lot of people, particularly as we get older, get tight, very tight feet. The tighter our feet get, the less mobile they are, the less feedback they give us, the less we use them, and then therefore the less helpful they are to our leg muscles. The leg muscles cannot work as well if the feet become very stiff. So massage your foot as deeply as you can all over. Concentrate as well on the little bit that's just before your heel. You might find there's a tender spot there, clump of fascia just before your heel. So try and press into that. And it might be very sore, but it's not going to do you any harm if you press into it. If anyone's ever had plantar fasciitis, which is very painful, then this will be useful to keep on top of. Press and then switch over. Same on the other foot, massaging your foot. Pressing in as much as possible on the inside of the arch and the lateral arch, which is the outside arch, all the way through. Pushing into that bit again just before the heel. While you keep going on that foot, I just want to show you two types of walk. I haven't got much space in my camera, but this is the one I see quite a lot of people getting older. This is the one we should be doing. Spot the difference. Or when people's feet get really stiff and they stop rolling through their foot, they stop getting their leg behind them, and then we stop activating all the muscles in the back of the leg with each step. So anyway, I'm going to the subject. You've massaged your feet. Now we're going to sit down and do a few foot exercises. First one is I want you to lift all your toes up and try and spread them all out. So once you spread all your toes out, they might not join in today if this is the first time you've done it. It's a case of staring at them and willing them to do it. Eventually they will. Once you've spread your toes out, I want you to put them down, and then I want you to make a little dome with your feet. Now if I show you side on, your foot should be, the ball of the foot should be lifting up. It's a bit like you're just shortening your foot. So you'll still have your toes in contact with the floor and your heel, but you're trying to make a little gap all the way underneath. If you really find that nothing is happening with your feet, if you're not managing, then you can take your sock off if you've got a sock on. Here's a sock. You're going to just put your foot on your sock and try and pick it up. That's another way to wake up those intrinsic foot muscles. So picking up, get the feet awake. You might start to get a bit of cramp underneath your feet. That just shows that the muscles aren't very strong, but at least they are starting to activate. So do a little bit more of that, picking up your socks. And this is one you can practice anytime. You sat watching telly, start waking up your foot muscles, making sure you've got that movement. Oh, yeah, I know what we were doing. We were separating as well, weren't we? Let's try and alternate now. Separate your toes, put them down, lift the ball of the feet. Lift them into little domes. Separate the toes, put them down, lift them up, lift the arches up. separate, put them down, lift them up. I can't see if you can see my feet because the comments are in the way. The comment box. Hopefully you can. You wriggle back a bit. I'm just lifting, spreading, lifting, spreading, putting them down, lifting. Couple more. Let's wake up your feet. And then we'll move up to the calves. So now I want you to get your cushion. If you haven't got a cushion, just roll up a jumper or something. You'll have something that you can squeeze. Now, I said this is a seated workout. We're going to do a little bit of standing. So if you need to, stand behind your chair and hold on to it. So I'm going to stand in front so you can see, but if you want to stand behind your chair and hold on to the back of the chair, that might be a good idea. You're going to put your cushion between your ankles. This one's quite flat, so I've rolled it up. But I want you to have something to squeeze into. So bring your feet quite close together. Then you're going to try and squeeze into the cushion. So feel like you're squeezing with the back of your legs. You're trying to squeeze into it with the calves rather than squeezing with the front of the shins, which is going to roll your knees in. So squeezing into the cushion with the back of the legs. And also feel like you're squeezing your sitting bones together. So as you're squeezing into the cushion with the calves, you're also squeezing here. And we're going to start to rise up and down. So holding onto your chair, rising up and down, squeezing the cushion, squeezing your sitting bones. If you can, you want to be getting a nice big range of movement. If you can, let's spring up and control it down. Control it down, almost like there's something a bit delicate underneath your heels, and you don't want to squash it. Spring up, control down, spring up, control down. Let's do 5, 4, squeeze the cushion, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then move the cushion. Yeah, if you had a ball, you're going to use your ball. If not, it's okay, we can do it without. If you've got the ball, put it underneath the ball of your left foot. Again, you can be holding your chair. I'm going to stand in front of it so you can see. Ball under the ball of the left foot. Heel on the floor. Right foot in front, and that should give you, bending the right knee should give you a stretch down the back of your left calf. I think I said left ball of the left foot on the ball. Right foot in front. If you haven't got the ball, do exactly the same, you just need to go a bit wider. So you're going to have your left foot back, whoop, right foot in front, and holding the calf stretch. Going as wide as you feel you need to get a stretch in your calf, making sure that back knee's nice and straight. And as you look down, all the toes should be pointing in the same direction. And then come up and switch legs. So you've either now got the ball of the right foot on the ball and the heel on the floor, and the left foot in front. And actually, if your calves are very tight, you might have the feet quite close together here. Or if you haven't got the ball, just going to take it a bit wider. You're still going to have your right foot back and your left foot forward, straightening that right leg. We'll hold the calf stretch. Have a look down, see all your toes are pointing forward. Okay, and then find your cushion again. Put it between your knees. We're going to work up a bit higher now. We're coming up to the hips. And they're all going to, what the feet are doing, are going to wake up the hips. So it's all linked. Put the cushion, or the rolled up jumper, whatever it was, between your knees. There you go. You're going to be perched on the edge of your chair now. So you've only got your bottom on. You haven't got the support of the chair under your thighs. Going to bring your hands forward, and we're going to start first of all trying to wake up the glutes. So I want you to think about your sitting bones again. In fact, put your hands under your bottom and you'll be able to feel, have a wriggle, you'll be able to feel your sitting bones. There's two bones that point down, which is why they're called your sitting bones. You're going to sit on them. So hands in front. I want you to imagine you're trying to squeeze your sitting bones underneath you. And as you do that, as you squeeze your sitting bones underneath you, you're going to start to push down into your heels. So as you push the heels down, you're going to squeeze the sitting bones. And the slower you make it, the better. So really feel as if you're trying to lift your hips high enough that someone could get a bit of paper underneath your hips now. You're pushing down into your heels, you're squeezing your sitting bones, and you're just coming high enough to get a bit of paper underneath your hips. And you're really slow on the way back down. It's almost like you're going to touch your skin and then your bones. So you touch the skin, then the weight of the bones. And you can lean forward, you can see I'm coming forward. Let's do a few more. Push down into your heels, squeeze your sitting bones, controlling the way down. Good. Okay, let's stay with the cushion there. And we're going to start squeezing into it and letting go. Squeezing into it and letting go. I'm not trying to lift up off the chair anymore, but as I squeeze the cushion, I am still squeezing my sitting bones. Squeezing the cushion, squeezing your sitting bones, squeezing the cushion, squeezing the sitting bones. So you'll just pop up, you see I'm just popping up because I'm squeezing my sitting bones underneath me. Okay. Now you're going to put your hands on the outsides of your knees. Ideally we'd have a band around our knees, but we're going to use our hands instead. I'm going to get you to, or it might be your thighs, because you don't want to be leaning forward, wherever you can reach. You're going to now be pushing your knees outwards into your hands. So push out as hard as you can. Going to hold that pressure outwards. Push, push, push. Obviously you're going to work your arms as well. And then we're going to squeeze the cushion instead. Then we're going to push outwards with our hands. Push as hard as you can. Try and get your legs to win over your arms. Push out, push out, push out. And then squeeze the cushion. And push out. As hard as you can. Make sure you don't hold your breath. And then in. And then one more out. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Out, 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 out. And then relax. Okay, then just roll your shoulders a few times back. Honestly, I'm not going on for too long. No. One more thing. Actually, two more things. Same hip flexor stretch as we did the other day, because that is so useful when we're doing a lot of sitting. Move your cushion. Turn onto your side. So you've got the right buttock on the chair, right hand holding the back of the chair, and then you're going to slip your left foot back. Maybe on the ball of that left foot, you can see my foot there. Push it back, and then because we've got the left buttock off the chair, right buttock on the chair, left buttock off the chair, we're going to try and tuck that left sitting bone underneath so that you get a stretch through the front of the left thigh and hip flexor. So just holding that, should be a stretch somewhere through here. We're going to reach the left arm up. I'm just going to hold that stretch and breathe. Reaching up through your left hand, tucking under with your left sitting bone. I don't know if you can hear the background noise. I think I'm out of it. Hopefully not, it's not too loud. Turn around. Now you've got your left sitting bone on the chair, holding the back of the chair with the left hand. The right foot's behind you. You're going to tuck underneath with that right sitting bone. Try and tuck it under so you get a pull through the front of the thigh and the hip. That's the area that gets so stuck when we're sitting, and it prevents the buttock muscles from working well if it gets too tight. Those two muscles are opposing each other, as I said. the other day. So we're going to keep that open. Reach the right arm up and stretch that right arm up to the ceiling and stay. You're also stretching out the big toe joint on the right side, which is useful. And then we'll come out of it. Do one more thing, which is you're going to wriggle back a bit with your hip, push back a bit with your hips. Take one leg and cross it over the other. So the ankle's on top of the knee. Then hold on to your leg and your ankle. Try and pull yourself up nice and tall. Now that might be a struggle. It might be a real struggle just to get the ankle on top of the knee, which is totally normal. You're going to try and lift up as tall as you can. Everyone has got a different range of movement in their hips. So some of you might be here, not able to lift up. Some of you might be able to lift up and lean forward a little bit. So lean forward if you can, but keep your back really upright. And we're just going to hold that stretch. That's a stretch in your buttock, in your hip. Okay, switching over. Other ankle on top of the opposite knee. Sitting up nice and tall. Leaning forward with your chest until you get a stretching through your leg. Who is it that's just said something? Linda and Anne are watching. Hello, Linda and Anne. Hope you're okay. Okay, nearly done. Once you've stretched out that buttock, that's such a satisfying stretch. You can come out of it. And what I'd really like you to think about is when you're going for your walks, if you are all going for a walk, because it's so nice and quiet at the moment, there's absolutely no need to do a shuffle around. You're not going to be that close to anyone that you're going to need to do this shuffle. So when you're going for a walk, really think about striding out, getting your foot behind you, because it's when your leg gets behind you that your buttock muscle wakes up and your hip flexors stretch out. So if you're doing a lot of sitting, you then carry on that position as you're walking. Stride out, get your leg behind you each time so that you can push off. Okay. See you soon. I'm going to try and do Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. Just 15 minutes if I can manage not to talk for too long.